Hello gentlemen, today is the Vim video text series number 19, and today content I would like to talk about concealing your sensitive information. That's right, let's imagine that you are editing the files. Those files might contain the sensitive information that you would like to prevent other that might be walking around behind your while you're editing the files and might be peeking over the shoulder to see the files of the sensitive information. You would like that to not happening at all. And the concealing part feature for the Vim is going to help you on this. Let's jump right into the configuration. So this what you see here is the vimrc files of mine for the specific configuration about the concealing. And we're going to heavily base on the knowledge about look around reject that I already covered back in the previous video number 18. Look around reject, and also this all configuration is living inside all group. And if you would like to know about all group, I already covered in the past as well, video number 9. Okay, so all right, we're going to focus on this later, but anyway, the mate of the configuration is this line. And as you can see here, we're going to specifically mention up which files you are going to setting this thing up about the concealing. So let's name it. It can be gitconfig and bash alias. In this case, the command line might be a mislisting here because it doesn't point to that home directory level of files there. But actually, I got make a copy of that files to the temp and then make use of it and just remove all those uninteresting lines and to just make for the example. So this two file is not the real files I use in my day-to-day. Anyway, we have two ways to do this. We can use the function called matchadd or command called syntax match operation in order to conceal the things. Is both of these two is the possible way to conceal your text. But I found that for the syntax command is more complicated and more suitable to do for complete or more complicated syntax building. Maybe you have another, maybe you build another programming language or another kind of syntax that you would like to highlight the things. Maybe there's a new type, data type, there keyword, this and that. So it's more suitable for that. But matchadd is more like a quick use right away and throw away on the things. Because mostly for the syntax command is going to also depends on the priority of the syntax command that is already set elsewhere, maybe by the other plugin of Vim or maybe by the another part of your vimrc file. So yeah. So if you decide to use a syntax command, you need these two argument here, contained in and also contain. The contained in is mean that this syntax contained in another syntax group. So it's still going to highlight the things for you. So if you not mention that, because most likely your text is going to be already highlighted by some already set up syntax command. So you need this content in order to force it to highlight the things. And contain is mean to mark that is contained by something else. So yeah, and also these two things going to help about the recursive kind of things as well. So it's not going to like a try to recurse to itself and do the thing. So oh, that's the detail now. So, okay, I go too far, but yeah, pretty much I'm going to use matchadd here. So okay, what we're gonna uh, show you here is the here auto command in the event when we try to read the buffer and specify the absolute part of the files here. It's better to be absolute part to make sure that is point to the right location, and then we call the matchadd. And the first argument is going to be the highlighting option. Mostly, it's going to be conceal. Um, Otherwise, maybe you create your own highlighting option, but I'm not sure how to do that in order to do the conceal. But anyway, you can try to research on that. But if you change this thing to something else like a to-do comment, so it's not going to conceal anymore, but in case of to-do, the option is going to be highlight the text from your mesh in the reject to be in yellow. So it's not conceal anymore. So or mostly other case, you're going to use the conceal option here for the highlight. And the second argument is going to be reject pattern. And we make use of the workaround reject that I already covered in the previous video. And we look for the signing keys, and we're going to, this is the workaround, look behind, and we're going to conceal only the value of it. And number 9000 something here is the priority of this matchadd. So the higher up the number is the higher priority can be. And -1 is the special number here that is going to let matchadd automatically find the ID in order to specify to this setup. So we're going to find the free ID and then setting to this setup. But we can try, we can setting up here as well, but it's not in our interest now. We have more complicated that you need to refer back to this ID via other functions, so you might want to like a 1000 something or something along that line. Last argument is the optional as well. It's going to like let you define what would be the character to conceal of the part for the reject mesh. So in this case, I would like to conceal it with asterisk. Okay, so let's just see these two lines first. Okay, we're gonna conceal signing key and the emails. All right, I'm gonna show you the result first. Okay, I'm gonna quit the file step, and then here with the gitconfig. Okay, so then you're gonna see that emails is concealed by asterisk here. Signing key is also concealed by the asterisk. So okay, and let's get back to the configuration. So what we can see is now that yeah, we can drill down now to the option that related to the concealing part, and there are conceallevel here and also concealcursor. Conceallevel is more like about the, okay, go to the help page here. It's more like up there like a level that to set whether conceal is going to be effect or not. Then there's 4 value here, 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0 is mean that there's no conceal at all. You can see here, text will show normally. Level number 1 and number 2 are very similar, but the difference is that number 2 is going to conceal your mesh only when you set the conceal character. If you didn't set this thing, it's not going to conceal at all. But for the level 1 is also, if you didn't specify the conceal character, it's going to try to grab the conceal character that you set in this character as well. And this character I already covered back in the video number 10, but in that time I didn't mention about the conceal because it's more complicated topic. But anyway, you can get the concept about the list card there. So this is the list card, so there can be end of line, tab, and something here, and it can be the conceal, and you can see here this particular line of the help file is tell character to show in place of conceal tag when conceal level is set to 1. Yeah, so if you set the conceal level to 1 and you didn't set the conceal character, as you can see here, set it at all, it's gonna fall back to what you set in list chars. Sorry for my pronunciation. Yeah, it's a little bit complicated to comprehend at first, but you get then connect the dot later. So we're done with the conceal level, and Okay, and and the next one, conceal cursor, and this one is more like a in which mode you would like to conceal. In this case, I set it to N and V. This means I'm gonna conceal when I'm in the normal mode and visual mode when I try to like highlight the things here. So whenever highlight go past that conceal line, it's going to still conceal. Let's check the help here. And as you can see, NVIC. So normal mode, visual mode, insert mode, and see here. See here is a little bit special that it's gonna kick in when you enable the in search. So when you try to search for something, and in the most distributed of Vim version out there, when you try to search without hitting the enter at all, it's going to jump right into what you searched so far. So when you type conceal, it try to search this one right away. It's not going to wait for you or enter. But in my case and in my Vim version, I didn't enable that. It's disabled by default, so I'm not interested in C at all. So set the conceal cursor to match your workflow. I would like to conceal all the time, either in normal or visual mode, but whenever I want to edit something, I would like it to not conceal. Yeah, all right. So let's see this effect. So whenever I move my cursor past that conceal line, it's still conceal, right? When I go to the visual mode and then past that line, it's still conceal. Okay. But when I'm at that line and then I go to insert mode, it's going to reveal the content there. But the downside is that you cannot use the Vim movement in order to move back and forth. Now, as you can see, I would like to go to the next word, the build. No, it's not now because we are in the insert mode. We need to use the cursor key here, arrow key here, right, left, something like that. It might not be flexible, but we achieved the goal to conceal the sensitive part already. So yeah, whenever we escape, yeah, it's gonna conceal back. Um, yeah, so you're gonna know that when you would like to conceal, when you save time, you can do it whenever you want, something like that. All right, let's jump back to the configuration. So finish this line. And before we jump to the bash area to see the effect, um, also about this line, you can see is checked the two part here. This is mostly the standard way that most of the Vim plugin is going to do to not repetitively apply. There's whole lot of fun configuration again if it's already applied and the Vim already loaded. So we're gonna check in this case as well that we're going to not doing the concealing part or not going to repetitively apply the concealing part. No, no, no. We are not going to apply the concealing part if we don't want to. So if global variable, namely visible conceal, is not exist at all, or if it exists, but the value is not equal to 1, maybe it exists but it's set to 0, so we still do a conceal. But if it's set to 1, we are not going to do it. We're not going to conceal anything. So as you can see, we can do this, and you can try to look at the bottom now. This is your bash area, so you can do the alias of your command here. So you can, okay. So alias to be vi no cc's, it means vim no conceal. So I'm gonna make use of vi cmd, and I also cover this part about the execute the command back in the path as well. When you try to open the files, and it's going to execute the vim command either before or after the vimrc file is loaded. So you can check it out. So in this case, whenever we try to use vim without conceal, so I can use vi no cc. Okay, I'm gonna show you in the. Okay, so I'm gonna use vi no cc's and then gitconfig. And in this time, it's going to not review anything at all. So you're gonna see my email. You're gonna see my signing key here. This is all fictional. It's not real. Yeah. So actually, you can just do it like a let these and then this low conceal -1, and then you're gonna type the files here as well. So it depends, but if you use this feature a lot, so it's better to like alias it to shortening your keystroke. But that's the things. That's the thing. So get back to the configuration. Now let's see the last find I'm gonna show you. So in your bash areas, this might have a server of things. Maybe okay, this one is about the perf server, and uh, just the same, with the reject. You can try to pause the video and you try to understand what to do. So most likely, and most of the case, I'm gonna make use of the reject look around, look behind to match things behind, look behind, things like that, and we're going to conceal only the part of value of it. So that, and all the other things, all other arguments of the matchadd function is going to be the same. So yeah, you can use this pattern. I'm gonna conceal this thing, consumer key, consumer secret, server IP, and maybe something like a more complicated, like you wanna try to conceal the port that you use in SSH command, and also you try to conceal the server domain side of your SSH command as well. These two lines is going to do it. So yeah, so it's make use of the look behind and also look ahead, and we're gonna conceal the number, the port number here, and the port number is going to be specified with the flag key inside the SSH, right? And for this one, I just know that the remote, yeah, it is also aligned with what you configure there in the target file, so you can adapt your vimrc file configuration to match what you're setting up there as well. So to limit and not to have the reject totally be totally generic and too complicated. So yeah, in this case, I know that I configure in the bash areas for the remote server domain to be after the port. So you can see after the p argument, and it's going to follow by any space, and this is the port, and anything behind that in non-greedy way is going to be inside that we don't need, so it's going to be look behind, and we're going to match anything there after that. Yeah, and also we're gonna exclude the code, double code there as well. So let's see the yep. So uh, we already conceal p4 user, p4 port, for password, consumer key, consumer secret, server TCP, and okay, this one. The first answer is the port number, and this one is the second one is the server domain. So we conceal all the things there, and when we don't want to conceal anything, so see, this is the thing, and yeah, and this is all fictional. It's not the real, and I hope this technique is going to help you to when the prying eye is to look or peek into your sensitive information while you're editing the things. So take good care and be safety about this. Until next time, bye bye.